Aula is the most comprehensive test for evaluating attention processes in children between the ages of 6 and 16. Using a virtual reality system that increases the ecological validity of the test, Aula evaluates sustained attention, divided at the visual and oral level, impulsiveness, motor activity, ease of being distracted, and reaction time over a period of approximately 20 minutes. To do this, Aula uses two continuous performance tests. Firstly, an X-no paradigm, which implies a high response rate and which tests the selective attention and impulsiveness of the user. Secondly, a task is performed for paradigm X. This means a low response rate, challenging the sustained attention of the participant. The change from a very demanding paradigm to one that is not very demanding means challenging the self-regulating ability of the participants. Aula correctly identifies 93.5% of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder cases, providing objective data for the diagnosis of this pathology. However, you can also use Aula to get qualitative data for the evaluation of any child, being able to see the differences between the basic attention processes, differences in processing, and the evaluation of pharmacological or cognitive behavior. The Aula report is a detailed source of information on the additional processes of the person evaluated. Furthermore, the graphics aid communication with the parents. We are going to go over the main characteristics of the report. On the cover of the report, we can find the basic data on the child. Additionally, the report can be personalized with the clinic's logo and information. The first page contains the technical data for the test. Personal data, the date of the test, duration, the scale used, and the comments entered before and after the test using the computer program. Below, the general description of the test will be given. Additionally, the value of the T-scores for the performance. Scores between 71 and 80, red range, show very low performance. From 61 to 70, yellow and orange range, low performance. In the white part of the image, scores between 41 and 60 show normal performance, from 31 to 40 high performance, and from 20 to 30 very high performance. Firstly, the overall rates are presented. These refer to the two tasks together. 5 variables in total are presented. The variable emissions, which refers to the times the child should press a button when faced with a stimulus but does not do it. High scores for this variable can be a sign of a lack of attention during the test. Next, the variable commissions shows us the times when the child should not press a button when faced with a stimulus, yet presses it regardless. High scores for this variable can be a sign of impulsiveness. The average of the TR for correct answers shows the average speed with which a target item has been answered. The standard deviation of the TR for correct answers shows if there was a lot or little variation in the speed of the responses. A high score for the variable means inconsistency in responding, which could be a sign of fatigue during the test. Finally, motor activity shows us the amount of movement during the test compared to the normative sample. In the lower table, the direct scores are shown, percentiles and T for each variable. On the next page of the report, there is a brief description of the various previously presented variables. We recommend not focusing only on the general rates, since the rest of the variables provide a lot of information. During the test, various distractions which can happen in a class occur. Whispers, the teacher walking around the aula, an ambulance going by the window, etc. These distractions are associated with certain items, while others are distraction-free. In this way, the execution of the task can be compared with or without distractions through the comparative image with all of the variables and the scoring table. Next, there is an image of the motor activity related to the distractions. In the image for each task, we can see shaded areas which show the presence of a distraction. With a number, we can cross-check against the list of distractions in the lower part. This way, we can quickly note if there are peaks in motor activity when reacting to a distraction. On the next page, there is the comparison of the execution for the various variables between Task 1, X, No, and Task 2, X. We must keep in mind that Task 1 requires a high response rate, which is why avoiding making commission mistakes is very difficult for children with impulsiveness problems. And since Task 2 requires a low response rate, which means that omission mistakes can be a major challenge for children which have difficulty sustaining attention. In Nesplora Aula, both visual and oral stimuli are presented in both tasks. In this comparative analysis, we can see the execution of the test in relation to visual and oral stimuli. Large differences can mean vision or hearing problems, which must be discarded. In Section 6 of the report, a motor activity image is given. The points the subject looked at over the course of the test are shown there. The green box represents the amount of the image occupied by the blackboard. The yellow square represents the space from where enough of the blackboard can be seen for it to be a full stimulus. The attention-focusing quality lets us observe the execution of the task when the child is looking at the blackboard. This is a good way of knowing if the execution of the task is influenced by external or internal stimuli. On the last page of the report, there is a table summarizing all the scores for the different variables in the test. We remind you that there is a technical and scientific support service for Aula. Do not hesitate to contact us.